it's that one chick. So today I'm going to be starting a new segment. It's called Stories by Me with Me. Pretty much it's just I write stories, so this is what I write and I'm reading it to you because people don't like reading anymore. So here we go. The first one I'm going to read to you is the longest one I've written so far. It's called Destined. And it is by a fallen angel, which most of my stories are, but you don't find that out until later. But anyways, here goes, chapter 1. They say when you meet your soulmate, you'll know from the start it's them. I never believed that was true until Devin walked into my life. I had just moved to Caddo Mills, Texas, and I was over at my new friend Katerina's house when he walked in. She glared at him. Mom is going to be pissed when she finds out you skipped school again. He smiled, revealing white teeth all perfectly straight. I don't think she'll find out, little sis, unless you want her finding out about you sneaking out for Mason's party last night. She glared at him. You wouldn't. Oh, but I would. His bright green eyes flickered to me. I was half hidden behind Katerina. Who's this? I'm, Amber. She's my new friend. She put emphasis on the my. Well, Amber. He smiled wider and stepped around his sister. It's very nice to meet you. I'm Devin. He grabbed my hand with his and leaned in, meeting it with his lips, then stood straight up and winked at me. Ew, no, definitely not. She pushed us away from each other and continued ranting at her brother, but I was too busy looking at him to hear her. He seemed so familiar, though I knew I had never met him before. I knew even with only one time seeing him, I could draw him perfectly. He ran his fingers through his shaggy black hair, pushing it out of his face, though it only fell right back into place, and chuckled at her. Fine, I'll be good, but I can't help it if she falls for me. He looked back at me, and my whole face turned red. Ugh, you are horrible. She grabbed my hand and dragged me to her room. I looked over my shoulder at him, not being able to help myself. He was watching us go and chuckled softly to himself before walking out the door. In her room, which was full of posters of her favorite lead singers and mostly red and black themed and very gothic, she sat on her Victorian king-size bed with silk covers and a mountain of decorative pillows. I can't believe him. Don't let him fool you, Amber. He's not my type anyways, I lied. Usually guys can catch my interest easily. I buried myself in books, music, and art. I was usually attracted to the main guy in my latest book or anime. The thing is, Devin was that type of fantasy guy. From what I could tell, Katerina was the opposite of me. I was more quiet and reserved with a sarcastic side. She was all out and flirty and couldn't take a joke. On the looks side, we were different too. I had wavy brown hair and hazel eyes, and she had dyed her hair scarlet with green eyes exactly like Devin's. Our styles were completely different too. She wore skinny jeans and a leather jacket with a red tank top underneath and leather boots. I wore a hoodie with a falling in reverse shirt, ripped jeans, and Converse. I could already tell everywhere we hung out together she would outshine me and I would be in the background. Not that it mattered anyways. I liked it there. I had bad social anxiety and preferred to stay silent. Good. He has a new girl every week. One of those girls happened to be my last best friend, and she stopped talking to me after he left her. He's a player, and he's dangerous. Dangerous? I looked at her. She paused. Yeah, like to girls' hearts, I mean. Anyways, you're not his type. What do you mean by that? He's into slutty girls. Nice save on her part. I decided to change the subject. So, who's this Mason he mentioned? She blushed. Nobody. A friend, I mean. I smiled. Right, a friend. I'm serious. She tried to keep a straight face, but smiled and giggled. Okay, I like him. It's normal for a 16-year-old girl to have a crush. I giggled. It was nice to have normal girl talk. At my old school, I hung out with nothing but boys. So, tell me about him. Well, she smiled. He has short brown hair with blonde highlights, golden tan skin, and blue eyes. He plays guitar and sings, and he's in a band too. And his body, oh my God. She sighed dreamily. Sounds very California beach boy. I laughed, and she pouted. Shut up, he's cute. I'm sure he is. So what are we going to do tonight? Going to Mason's concert? There was a sparkle in her eyes. But first, she dragged me to her closet door. We're going to give you a little makeover. She opened her closet and turned on her light. I had to admit, it was pretty impressive. It was half the size of her room, and everything was organized from colors and glitter and leather to jeans and shirt and dresses. She even had a wall with shoes, each in their own little cubby. The back wall was a huge mirror and a table and chair next to it for all her makeup and hair products, and a little round mirror for the little details on her makeup that she might have missed. It was no wonder she looked perfect every day. She pulled out tight black skinny jeans and a crimson red leather tank top that zipped up in the back and had a low square neckline, too low for Catholic school, but not low enough to be slutty, along with stilettos to match. Change, she said, tossing me the clothes. I looked at her. Come on, we're all girls here. I blushed in embarrassment and changed into the new clothes. Then she sat me down in the chair facing away from the wall mirror. She started working on my face and hair, then turned me around so I could see myself. My hair had been side-parted and fell into loose curls all around me. My eyes popped out with thick eyeliner and mascara, and my lips were the same red as my outfit. The outfit that she had put me in showed all my curves and was so tight it was like a second skin, and the heels made me stand up straighter with more confidence. I looked mysterious and bold. Almost like her. She smiled. I do work magic. Okay, let's go. It's starting at 8. She took me out to her black convertible Corvette. I climbed in the passenger seat. She drove to the next town over to a small red brick building with tinted windows and graffiti on the outside walls. Every time the door opened, a thick cloud of smoke poured out. We went up to the door, and a tall, buff bouncer sporting a tight black shirt and loose jeans with a studded belt looked down at us. I'm with Mason Drews. She looked at him, not intimidated in the slightest. He opened the door, and I followed her in, coughing. You'll get used to it, she called over the guitar, and the singer roaring. She called over the guitar and the singer roaring inaudible words in a poor attempt to scream the Abandoned by Memphis Mayfire. The place was dimly lit, and the interior matched the exterior. In front of the stage, there were pierced and tattooed bodies bumping against each other and pounding their fists in the air around two guys in the middle attempting to start a mosh pit. On the other side of that was a bar. We snaked through the crowd until she found who she was looking for. Mason! Katerina lit up and went to him. I followed close behind. It was no doubting he looked like a rock star. They hugged tightly, and she looked back at me. Mason, this is my new friend Amber. Nice to meet you, he smiled. Ditto, I replied. Hey, I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll catch up with you later. The place was getting to be too much for me, and I felt so out of place. I sat at the bar, and the bartender eyed me suspiciously. Dr. Pepper? I said like I was going to drink anything else. I wasn't going to risk being caught intoxicated underage. I was not starting out at a new place with a criminal record. He gave me my Dr. Pepper and left me alone. I stared into my cup and let my thoughts trail off to the music. I thought of Devin's green eyes and warm lips on my hand. I wonder what they would have felt like on mine. His laughter was deep, almost melodic. I picked up my pen and sketched his face on a napkin. I was so lost in my thoughts that everything else was a low hum in the background. I focused on drawing his eyes. Those eyes seem like they can stare straight into your soul and see every piece of you. He seemed too good to be real. I crumpled up my napkin and went to go throw it away. It was a useless fantasy. Like Katerina said, I wasn't his type. The only thing that brought me out of my self-pity was the announcer yelling, "And Devin DeVille on guitar, ladies and gentlemen, the fallen ones." My head whipped around, and sure enough, there he was on stage, a shiny black guitar in his hands. I walked towards the stage and through the crowd as they started playing. I stopped in the middle and looked up at him. He was standing under the stage lights. I watched the way his long, muscled arms held the guitar and his long fingers worked over the strings. He winked at some groupies calling his name. So Katerina hadn't been lying. I sighed and turned to leave when somebody bumped into me, stumbling into the mosh pit, or sending me stumbling into the mosh pit. I tried to get out, but everywhere I turned there were arms flying at each other. I was getting jostled back and forth. Between the heat and the smoke, I was struggling to breathe. The last thing I remember was getting punched in the face and falling. I don't even remember screaming, but I must have, because Devin stopped mid-song and ran to me. "Amber!" He ran through the crowd, pushing people out of the way, and had just broken into the mosh pit when our eyes met and I passed out. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Chapter 1. If you want to hear Chapter 2, you can either go to my website where I have it all posted, or you can, watch episode 2 or the next video I upload. Although it might be of a different story, who knows? So you might just have to read them. So I will leave a link down in the description. So if you liked it, tell me what you think, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and thank you for watching. See y'all next time.